Welcome to Strategy Saturday. I'm Charles Carillo, and today we're going to be discussing how do you buy a multifamily property with no money. So I get this question often from viewers, and it's something that I want to address because there's some very good no money down approaches and there's some very good low money down approaches. So if you're looking to buy a multifamily or residential real estate investment property, but you're not keen on getting a traditional mortgage from a lender, here are your alternative options, including how to purchase your property for no money down. So types of multifamily properties, commonly referred to as apartment buildings or apartment complexes. A property must have at least two adjacent housing units, either horizontally or vertically, to qualify as a multifamily housing. These are going to include duplexes, one building divided into two separate houses, which are usually side by side. Triplexes and quadplexes, which is where I started investing. A triplex has 3 units and a quadplex has 4 units. Apartment buildings, so a building with multiple rentable units. This is usually 5+ units, so it makes it a commercial multifamily apartment building. Mixed-use buildings, which is something that I also started investing in when I was younger. It's a building that is used for multiple purposes, including residential, commercial, cultural, or industrial. Typically, you'll see this in the downtown area, and it will have some commercial, retail, office on the first floor, and it'll have residential apartments above it. So types of financing options available. So FHA, if you're going to buy a 1 to 4 unit property, let's say we're talking multifamily on this, so 2 to 4 unit property, my best bet would be for you to get an FHA loan on it, right? So this is where you can get in with as little as 3.5% down. This is how I started investing in real estate. What they call now house hacked. Back in 2006, purchased a 3-family property. I lived on one of those floors, the second floor. I rented out the first and the third. And I was able to really, after both those other floors paid their rent, my portion of the mortgage was like $40. So it was great. And I even rented out another bedroom in my floor, which made it actually cash flow. And it was a fantastic learning experience. And that's what I suggest my viewers, if you want to do this, this is a great way of getting into multifamily real estate. And although the 1 to 4 unit property must be owner occupied in order to qualify for an FHA loan, however, this type of investment property loan, the down payment can be as little as 3.5%, as I previously said, compared to a traditional 20 to 25% down payment for a conventional bank loan. Now, another way of getting in is equity share investor. So before looking for an equity share investor, you must first locate a promising multifamily property, and in return for them putting up all or a majority of the funds for the purchase, they receive an equity share in the property and income thereafter. So for instance, what you're doing is you're finding a partner that's going to bring money to the table, and you're bringing time to the table. And this is something where, hey, you put up the money for the purchase, and we have some sort of split that we've prearranged that I will take care of this work, and maybe we split everything 50-50 or whatever it might be, and it's really a joint venture that you're setting up. Another way of doing it is real estate syndication, and this is what we do. This is when several real estate investors come together to provide property financing for a real estate investment property. So it usually takes the form of a real estate partnership with other investors who have more financial resources than you do. For instance, there's going to be general partnerships and then limited partnerships, so passive investors, and they're going to be bringing money to the table. You're bringing your experience and you're bringing your time to the table, and that's where you're able to receive your percentage as being a sponsor or being a syndicator. And I have a number of different episodes on this, so make sure you look it up. But that's one other way of doing it. Another way is real estate crowdfunding. So a much newer phenomenon, similar to real estate syndication, whereby you source funds from a great number of real estate investors who you team up with to own and manage the property. This way you can get a stake in the property for no money down if you're the one that is going to be managing it, or as little as $500 if the crowdfunding is large enough. So this is more for an experienced real estate investor, but you can go to one of these platforms. They turn away the majority of them, of deals that they see, as my understanding. But you're able to put your deal up there, and you're able to raise money from mostly all accredited investors, and you can finance your deal and with little or no money in. really, the more experience you have, the less amount of money you're probably going to have to be able to go into. The other way of doing this, and an additional way, is hard money lenders. Now, while hard money lenders, who are essentially just private lenders, this could also be bridge lenders as well. When we're getting into multifamily commercial, hard money lenders are very similar to bridge lenders in how they operate. And they're pretty much just private lenders who invest in real estate, and they may not require a down payment in some instances. Now, this is very rare for a bank, and if you have a relationship with a hard money lender or one of your partners does, this is where you can negotiate out these type of special circumstances. Are you going to be able to call one that you find right online and tell them, hey, I want to buy with 0% down? They'll probably hang up on you. But if you or one of your partners have a relationship with the lender, you may be able to work out an interesting deal with them where you might be able to put down little or no money. Now, the caveat might be with this is that you have to find a property that's grossly undervalued. And this would be something that you'd have to explain to them, and it would take some work to explain to them, but you most likely would probably be able to get that down payment down and possibly eliminate it. If your target property is already generating a stable, consistent cash flow on a monthly basis, their financing might be able to cover the majority of the purchase price and the majority of the down payment. Who knows? Now, their financing will be more expensive in terms of the rate of interest charged and fees, with normal interest rates anywhere from 9% to 15% being very common. So this just goes back to having a relationship with them, and it's usually their money. So they might be able to work out a deal. Who knows? You might be able to bring the hard money lender in if it's a good enough deal. If they have an appetite for it, you might be able to bring them into your JV partnership. And that's a fantastic partner to have. So as you can see, there are plenty of viable options for purchasing property with little or in some instances, no money down. It's just a matter of determining which is right for you, depending on the type of property you are able to purchase, where, and how. So please remember to rate, review, subscribe, submit comments and potential show topics at globalinvestorspodcast.com. We look forward to 2 more episodes next week. See you then.
Nothing in this episode should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Any investment opportunities mentioned on this podcast are limited to accredited investors. Any investments will only be made with proper disclosure, subscription documentation, and are subject to all applicable laws. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of Syndication Superstars Incorporated exclusively.